Hey family, this is Christina with Urban Finance, and today I wanted to dedicate today's video to my favorite First Lady, Michelle Obama, and congratulations for her winning her first Grammy for the audiobook version of her best-selling memoir, Becoming. Today, I wanted to share with you 11 inspiring moments in Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. Number 1. When Michelle was a child, her neighborhood began to transition from a more diverse place to a place with primarily people of color. And one of the instant changes that she noticed was a worsening school system. Even as a child, she noticed that she was getting an inferior education, so she told her mom, who listened to her, and went to the school to advocate for the school to do something about it. This is so inspiring because it's important to teach our children how to advocate for themselves and to support them when they do. We know that the school systems for people of color aren't much better today, and there is something we can all learn from Michelle and her mother here. Number 2, Michelle's parents talked to her and her brother Craig like they were adults. They would allow them to ask whatever questions they wanted and try to give them an answer. Many times, people dismiss children because they don't think it's necessary to give a truthful or detailed answer. This, in many ways, can stunt the growth of a child. I found that it was very inspiring and helpful as a mother-to-be. Number 3, we all knew that Michelle was the fighter in the family. This is not a dig against President Obama, but the way that she doesn't mince words and call Trump out for who he is. She said, quote, "The whole birther thing was crazy and mean-spirited. Of course, its underlying bigotry and xenophobia hardly concealed. It was also dangerous. What if someone with an unstable mind loaded a gun and drove to Washington? Donald Trump, with his loud and reckless innuendos, was putting my family's safety at risk. And for this, I never forgive him," end quote. Wow, that's my First Lady and our future president. Wink, wink. Even though she said in the book that she would never run for office, my Bible says to call those things that aren't like they were. Number 4, former First Lady Obama spoke about why she chose to not smile or stop smiling at Trump's inauguration. After looking around and seeing the people that were around her, she noticed that this White House was going to focus on one type of people, so she stopped playing into the mess. Number 5, Mrs. Obama kept a group of close and high-spirited girlfriends around. This was something she started doing as a child, and it's something she said lasted through her entire life. Even during her stay at Princeton, the Black people stuck together. It was blavity. Sometimes we undervalue the importance of having the right people around us, especially those people who we can closely relate to. Number 6, Michelle Obama wasn't scared about talking about how head over heels and how hard she had fallen for Barack Obama.
You weren't overly impressed in the beginning.
I wasn't, I have my suspicions when a bunch of white folks fawn out over a black man, because I sort of think, okay, he can talk straight, so they think he's wonderful. And then his name was Barack Obama, he was from Hawaii. I thought, what?
Sometimes it can be hard for strong women to acknowledge how much they have fallen for a guy because it can feel like you're giving up power. Number 7, she talked about her miscarriage and her struggles with getting pregnant. For a woman, this can be one of the most demoralizing things. Although you know it's not your fault, you can't help but to feel somewhat responsible. She also talked about how much support she received, and when she revealed to those few close friends the challenges that they were having, and although it didn't take the pain away, it did bring some comfort to find out that having a miscarriage was actually pretty common among women. It's just something that no one ever talks about until someone needs to talk about it. And I truly appreciated her vulnerability. Number 8, Mrs. Obama talked about not believing that her husband would actually be president because of America's racist history, but supporting him like she fully believed that he would. It was helpful that she knew and believed that he would make an amazing president, but how hard that must have been. In the same vein, she talked about the sacrifice she was making by allowing her husband to run for an office that would almost completely consume his time. Number 9, Michelle Obama said that when people were saying things about her, she wanted to fight back. But Barack Obama's campaign told her to just let it go. It was hard for her at times not to be able to address the negativity head on. However, being the classy, feature first lady that she was, she kept her composure. Number 10, our former first lady mentioned having to speak up for herself during the campaign. Her husband had people giving him media training, people to help him with the speeches. The campaign apparatus was exclusively there to serve him. They had her going around campaigning for her husband, but left her under-equipped and unsupported. Finally, she spoke up and requested additional resources to do the job that they were asking her to. This came full circle from what her parents taught her as a little child. You know the saying, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. And finally, number 11, my favorite first lady, Michelle Obama, was unapologetically Black. I recall her quote about the age-old maxim in the Black community. You've got to be twice as good to get half as far. Throughout the book, and especially during the campaign, and even during the presidency, there was a pressure to be twice as good because she understood and said that they were a representation for the entire Black community, which is a difficult burden to bear, but especially as the First Lady of the United States of America. So these were just a few of my favorite memories from Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, and what a prime time to celebrate our former First Lady in this season of Black History Month. Remember, family, it's important to know where you came from, to know where you're going. And so with this being said, have a wonderful Black History Month. And remember, we love you and live your best life.